Questions again. So what was it like coming into, a movie that had already been established and coming into, something like that?
Well, what's great about going into a film that's already been very successful the first time around is, there's no nerves involved. Everybody knows that they've got a winning formula and you'd have to work really hard to mess it up. So the only pressure was the thought that they'd all got it right the first time and the new element getting added was me. So if it went wrong, it would be my fault. But they were terribly welcoming because, like a great party that's been going on for quite a long time, new blood was very welcome. So they just made it fun. I mean, the secret to why the films are so much fun to watch, I think, is that they're tremendously good fun to make. And Chris has that childlike sense of what's cool, what's scary and what's funny. And he's a grown-up who's made lots of giant movies, but still there's some part of him that's 10 years old.
Okay, now they introduced your character who's new, and can you tell me what makes him tick and what you liked about him?
Well, what I like about Lucius is he's the most confident person I've ever played. He's completely sure of himself, and what makes him tick is that he's an incredible bigot. I mean, he's a racist, he thinks his blood is pure and that wizarding blood should be kept pure and that muggles, humans, shouldn't be mixed with them. In fact, they should all be wiped out. Tragically, you don't have to look too far to find role models. They're getting themselves elected to governments all over the world right now, and or they're riding around with white pillowcases on their head. So it was pretty easy to find what made him tick.
Now, researching the role, did you read the books, and where else did you look to for research?
Well, one of the things that makes it specific, because as an actor, specifics are everything, is he's got a son, and the relationship with the son was key to me. And I felt that, because this wasn't really in the script or on the page, that if I was a really terrible dad, poor old Tom had no idea it was coming. The first scene we did, I just grabbed him by the ear and wrenched him. If I was a terrible dad, you would understand why he turns into such a bully at school. And you would also be able to look back through generations and generations of Malfoys and see that my dad had probably been cold and brutal, and his dad too, and that's how these things get passed down.
Okay. Now, Chris Columbus said that you made a fantastic villain. Can you tell me what goes into making a good one?
Well, I mean, what goes into making a good villain is a good script. That's all. It's been my tremendous good fortune to play a villain twice, really, so far. Once in The Patriot and once in this, and they're great characters, and you get all the credit that you don't deserve. I mean, in The Patriot, there I was murdering children, and burning women and children in a church, and people said I was amazingly evil. I wasn't. I did amazingly evil things. And what's great about Lucius is that he's intent on doing something terrible, and he tries to do something terrible, and he attacks and tries to hurt the people that we love. And what makes a good villain is that they not only do they do these terrible things, but they kind of relish them at the same time.
Okay. Now, you worked with a large cast of kids. What was that like, working with young kids?
It's quite invigorating, really, because there's no cynicism from them, especially these kids. They're all really courteous. I mean, I sound like a really grumpy old git now, but they're really lovely young people. They're very polite and very humble. They're really excited when actors come to the set who they recognise, which is funny because Daniel's probably the most famous kid in the world, and yet he's thrilled when someone comes along that he's seen in an episode of TV. And they're also really good at their job. I mean, they've been playing these parts for a long time now, and they slip into it so well, it keeps you on your toes.
Okay, is there anything fun that happened on the set, behind the scenes, any interesting incidents?
Well, one of the fun things is working with Dobby, because of course Dobby wasn't actually there when we did the scenes. He's too rich to get out of his trailer, I think. And what was nice is, I remember going along once and having this cane here, and just smacking it like that in midair. And afterwards Chris said, what did you do with the cane? I said, I just thought I'd crack Dobby on the back of the head. That's all right, isn't it? And he looked at the special effects people, and they went, yeah, it's okay. And he looked at me and he went, cool. So it was nice being able to do anything you liked to someone who wasn't there and then fix it afterwards. Yeah. And all scenes were like that.
And your outfit was pretty amazing too, with your...
Well, the look was gorgeous. They wanted me to have short grey hair, or that was one of the ideas floated. And I thought, I'm going to get to play a wizard probably only once in my life, so I'd like some wizarding hair.
Okay, and are we going to see you in number 3?
Well, I'm not in number 3, not in the third book, unfortunately, which is lucky for me because I'm off doing another film. But I come back in book 4, and it's 700 pages, book 4, so they're going to have to cut it down a bit, but hopefully I'll still be in it.
All right, thank you, Tom. Thank you. No, it wasn't so... Okay, so I'll ask you the opening questions again. So what was it like coming into, a movie that had already been established and coming into, something like that?
Well, what's great about going into a film that's already been very successful,